And welcome back to Market Center. At the advice of my staunchest critic, we ditched the jacket, going to try to be a little more loose and casual with ourselves, so gear up, boys and girls. We've reached halftime. Looking back at the second quarter highlights today, get you caught up where we left off, Gargoyles were nursing a 3-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 30-27 if you remember correctly. But the Gremlins were on the move. After just 2 plays, they were on the Gargoyles' 30-yard line and driving for another score. One thing did change in the second quarter. The Gargoyles made some defensive adjustments and shut down the Gremlins' attack, holding the Gremlins to only 9 points for the whole quarter. Unfortunately for the Gremlins, the Gargoyles' offense couldn't be stopped. The Gremlins' offense actually bogged down at the 30 and were forced to settle for a 47-yard field goal by Shane Reynolds for a closing he held at 152 Empress Avenue. That at least tied the score at 30-30. The Gargoyles' first possession of the second quarter resulted in a very quick 3-play touchdown drive and a 36-30 lead. Jim Fisher, who by the way has had an outstanding second quarter, started the drive with a nifty 25-yard run on a listing at 630 Southwest Curry Street. On the second play, Peter tossed a 25-yard pass to Jen on a contract they put together at 711 East Ocracoke Square. The score was Jim Fisher dashing into the end zone on the very next play. He had a contract at 60-25, 7th place. The Gremlins struck pay dirt on their next drive. Shane Reynolds was the mainstay. 2 25-yard runs. The first one was a listing at 65-85, 35th place. On the next play, another listing at 1625 Addy Street. And that put the Gremlins on the doorstep at the Gargoyles 25. From there, Michelle Knight took a quick slant pass to the house for a listing she had at 45 44th Avenue. And the score is now at 36 apiece. Sadly, that's as close as it was going to get for the Gremlins on the scoreboard, as the Gargoyles just crushed them for the rest of the quarter. Let's go to the highlights. On the ensuing drive, the Gargoyles quickly regained the lead. It was a carbon copy of the last drive. 3 plays. Peter connected with Jen again, 25-yard square in pass for a listing they made at 50-60 Harmony. Jim Fisher capped the drive with a listing at 7205 Hibiscus Road and dashed into the end zone for another listing at 5714 Paleo Pine Circle, totaling 50 yards, and the Gargoyles had the lead at 42-36, and they never looked back. Following a Gremlins turnover, Fisher booted a 35-yard field goal for his closing at 11:15 Highlands Drive, and the lead was 45-36. The Gargoyles forced a 3-and-out on the next Gremlins possession, and after a fair catch at the 25, the Gargoyles struck again in just 3 plays in that 51-36 lead. Alvaro Vargas started the drive with a contract at 80-25 98th, and so did Kim Small, who ripped off a 25-yarder on a draw play for her contract at 64-45 Park Chester Terrace. Then that man, Jim Fisher, burst into the end zone for his listing at 1715 Berkshire Drive Southwest, as the Gargoyles continued to pull away 57-36. Alvaro Vargas built the Gargoyles' lead to 27 points with 2 field goals. A chip shot from the 21 for his closing at 60-21 Ridge Lake, and then a second chip shot field goal from the 18 for a closing he had at 18 Red Tag Street in St. Augustine. This counts? Okay, doesn't matter. The lead is now 57-36. Following another Gremlin turnover, this time an interception, the Goyles marched down the field on the strength of Kim Small and that man, Jim Fisher. Fisher, on his way to a career day, reeled off a 25-yard for his contract at 1583 Parr Court. Small followed him up with a 50-yard touchdown dash for her listing at 50-91 Pendleton Square. Yikes. 63-36. Numbers actually transposed if you follow that. Anyway, on the very next drive, Jim Fisher capped it off with a 35-yard field goal for a closing he had at 6706 Salerno Road, and it wasn't getting any better. It's now 66-36 for all you math majors out there. Now, we move on to the Gargoyles striking, the Goyles struck again Help me, I'm lost. Here it is. Yeah. Gargoyles weren't done yet. Can I get an editor around here? Anyway, Gargoyles weren't done yet. They continued the beatdown with touchdowns on their next 2 drives. Not surprising, both, again, 3-play drives. Kim Small, Tariq Beasley, Heather Jordan all rack up big gains. Small for her listing at 7120 65th Street. Beasley for 6095 Bella Rosa. And then Heather Jordan for contracts at 371 7th Lane Southwest in a doubled up score at 72-36. I mean, we're down 36 points at this time, folks. On the next drive, Tariq Beasley, Kim Small, teamed up with Martha Vetter for another TD. Tariq's 25-yarder on a sweep for a listing he made at 170 13th Avenue. Small, Vetter for a 25 for her closing at 685 Ellingson Avenue. And Small dashed in for the score for her contract at 5884 Pine Ridge Circle and a 78-36 lead. To close out the half, the Gargoyles added 2 more field goals. The first one from Martha Vetter for a closing at 401 Caravan Terrace, and then Kim Small finished off the half with another field goal for her closing at 9145 86th Street. So we've made it to halftime, boys and girls. In the words of the legendary Dandy Don Meredith from Monday Night Football, who sang during a blowout loss on the show one night, "Turn out the lights, the party's over." And for sure, that's the way it looks from here. At the half, the Gargoyles 84, the Gremlins 36. See you next week.